Hi lads, I hope you're good on this Wednesday afternoon. Um, I'm gonna start by just a shorter focus this week, just letting you know what it is. So it's based on Jugchore. So as many of you may know, Alan White, he's in sixth year. You might know him, you might not. Is representing our school in the Jugchore final this coming Thursday on RTE2 at 7 p.m. Alan and the rest of his team, Michael and Nicholas, will need the whole school community to support them to progress into the competition. Alright, their entry is called Fury Runaway. So Fury Runaway is what's called. And they're in the Southeast selection. So we've been asked to give you time there, lads, just to give the lads a vote there to help them along to try get into the next rounds. Alright, so if you could just take a few minutes there, lads, just to give the boys a vote. You know, maybe it might be you in a few years' time and you'll be looking for the school to get behind you with something. So make sure, lads, you take a few minutes there and give the boys a vote. So you can go onto the Jugchore app and download it, or you can, I think you get more votes off the app, or you can use the website, obviously. So it's Jugchore. And in case you're wondering there, Jugchore is spelled Junkouture, right? And it's a Fury Runaway is the one you're voting for. Okay, so Fury Runaway. Okay, lads, just to reiterate there, just to remind you that I am your class tutor. So don't forget, lads, if you have any problems or any issues, let me know. I'll do my best to sort them out for you. Alright, don't be afraid to message me there, and if you have any problems or any concerns or anything like that, just let me know, okay? So we might as well get started into today's class then, lads. This is only going to be a short little video. Alright, the tasks and all put together won't take any more than the hour of the class, okay, including watching the video. I'll only ever really expect you to do an hour's work. Alright, so the first thing I want you to do here is match up the words. So we have 1 nose, 2 alveolus, 3 trachea or the windpipe, 4 diaphragm and intercostal muscles, 5 bronchioli, and 6 bronchus. Okay, so you might have heard of bronchitis before. A then is cause air to move in or out of the lungs. B allows air to pass to and from the trachea. C carries air to and from the lungs. D cleans, warms and moistens air. E allows gas exchange, and F allows air to pass to and from the alveoli. So if you could just pause the video here, boys, and just match up those words. Okay, so just pause it and match them up there as best you can. Alright, it's really important you do that, lads, because you might get little things like this to do on your junior cert. So it's important that you're able to do these kind of tasks. Alright, so just give the video a pause and do your best. Again, if you don't know, you're kind of stuck between one or two, you don't know which to match them up to, do the ones you know first, obviously, and guess the rest, okay? You've some kind of chance of getting them right. So we'll move on. So I'll call out the answers there. So pause the video and take that down first, okay? So 1 is D. So nose is the function of the nose then, cleans, warms and moistens air. 2 then, alveoles, is E, allows gas exchange. 3, trachea, carries air to and from the lungs. 4, diaphragm and intercostal muscles cause air to move in or out of the lungs. 5, bronchioli, allows air to pass to and from the alveoli. And finally 6, bronchus, allows air to pass to and from the trachea. Okay, so hopefully you got on fairly well on them. Okay, so we're still on breathing and circulation, so we're actually going to finish the part on breathing today, and we'll continue on in with our circulation on Friday. So today then, what we're learning, So hopefully by the end of the lesson today, you'll be able to describe gas exchange in the alveoles. You'll be able to describe the mechanism of breathing. You'll be able to describe the effect of exercise on our breathing rate, and you'll learn about a smoking related disease. Okay, so that's what we're planning on doing today. So the alveoles then it's like a little air sac. So we have a picture there. The picture on the left there is what it'd look like from a little distance. So you can see the little balls there. They're all little alveoles. We can see the capillaries there, which are blood vessels all around them, so that allows for the gas exchange there. We can see that they're all attached onto a bronchiole. So it's like our alveolus is like leaves, and our bronchiole then is like branches on a tree. Okay, it might help remember them. So we can see our blood vessels then. The picture on the right then is just a more in-depth look. So oxygen passes from the alveoli into the blood. Carbon dioxide and water pass from the blood into the alveoli. So this here, the blue circle thing, sac, whatever, is our alveoli. Okay, and it shows the blood vessel there, or the capillary, going all the way around the alveoli. Okay, so we can see where in the alveoli we have our oxygen coming in from when we're breathing in our oxygen, and it's moving through the walls there, the real thin walls, and it's moving through there through a process known as diffusion. Okay, so the walls allow oxygen to move through the walls. Okay, through a process called diffusion. Okay, and then they go off up to our cells, and we have then our carbon dioxide and water vapor moving from the blood vessels, their waste products, moving back into the alveoli and moving on back out into the bronchioli to be breathed out. Okay, so if you could get down, pause the video here, get down those 2 bullet points and the drawings. So try draw them, sketch them out there as best you can. I know it's going to be really difficult, but just as best you can there. So you will need to pause the video to get that down. Okay. So inhalation versus exhalation. So when we're breathing in, then what happens? How does that happen? So our diaphragm contracts, flattens, and moves downwards. The intercostal muscles contract, causing the ribs to move out, and our lungs expand, causing air to move into them. Okay, so the diaphragm moves down, the ribs and the muscles move up and out, and expands the lungs, causing air to move into them. Then when we exhale, the diaphragm relaxes and moves upwards. The muscles between the ribs relax, causing the ribs to move in and downwards, and the lungs shrink in size, causing the air to move out. So the diaphragm relaxes and moves upwards. The ribs relax, moving inwards and downwards, and the lungs then shrink, causing all the air to rush out. Okay, so that's the mechanism of breathing in, breathing out, inhale and exhale. Alright, so if you could just pause the video there, lads, get down that table, and again highlight those keywords. So it's just showing the difference between the two. Okay, it's just highlighting the difference. So exercise then. So when we exercise, our cells need more energy. It causes us to breathe faster and allow for increased gas exchange. More oxygen needed, and more waste product is produced during exercise. Okay, so if you think about it, if we're outside, we're running around a hurling field, we need loads of energy. We need respiration to happen at a faster rate than if we were sitting down inside. Okay, if we're sitting down inside, we need respiration is happening. Our cells are doing what they're doing. They're repairing themselves. They're growing, all that kind of stuff. But for outside, we're moving all our muscles. So if we're sitting down in a chair, we're only moving a certain number of muscles. But for outside, running around, we're moving a lot more muscles. Okay, so we need a lot more oxygen. So that's why our breathing rate increases, to allow for respiration to happen at a faster pace. Okay, so obviously the faster you breathe in, the more oxygen you need, and the more oxygen you need, the more waste products you have. Okay, so again, pause the video here, lads, and get that down. Okay, you'll know most of it anyway, but task then. So I want you to do this task. So I want you to research a smoking related disease under the given headings. So you can look up any disease that's related to smoking at all. So I want you to name the disease, the symptoms, treatments, and then some statistics about the disease. So how many people in Ireland does it affect? How many people die from it every year in Ireland? What kind of is the age range affects? All that kind of stuff, okay? So if you want to just pause the video here now as well and just get those headings down. Okay, so smoking related disease, and I want you to upload this to the assignment. Okay, so you should get this done. It'll take you 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes, sorry. So then if you have a look at the right there, lads, you can see the picture. So you can see the two different lungs there. You can see the non-smokers' lungs, they look good. They're nice and pale, kind of healthy looking. The heart's a nice size there and the lungs are there. Whereas if you look at the smokers' lungs, they're black. They're horrible looking. Alright, they're black. The heart seems to be enlarged as well. Alright, so it's not nearly as nice. They're actually rotten. There, okay, so you can see what smoking does to your lungs, lads. It's really not good for you. Alright, so just pause that there and get those down if you need to, and get that task going. So lads, remember when we're doing research, we don't use Wikipedia, and any information that we find, we don't plagiarise. So what's plagiarising? It means when you're copy and pasting stuff off the internet. Alright, so when you read something, you get your information, but you rewrite it in your own words. So you can use Word if you want and do it on the computer, that's perfectly fine. But do not use these big used words that you've never heard of before. Never mind know what they mean. Make sure you're putting it back into your own language. Alright, make sure you understand what you're saying. Alright, do not plagiarise, boys. It's a bad habit to get into. Because if you go to college and you're plagiarising, you'll be shown where the door is fairly quick. Alright, so just make sure it's your own work. And then finally, second last thing, I want you to complete that word search there in the booklet. So there's a hidden message, so the breathing system, so you're finding the keywords there. Alright, so it could be handy. It's hard, I know, if you don't have a touch screen, but you might be able to use the draw function on the word there to find the words. Alright, if you have a touch screen, your phone or anything like that. And finally, just reflection. So I want you to write down 3 things that you know, and these reflection can be based on the previous few lessons that we've done on breathing, alright? So 3 things you know, 2 things you think you know, so you're fairly sure you know, but you're not 100% sure they're right, and 1 thing then that you want to know, or you want to know, or you didn't understand, or you don't know. Alright, just 1 thing. If you can think of 1, if you can't, it's fine. Just make sure you write down 3 things you know and 2 things you think you know. And it can be based on the last few chapters, or weeks, days, classes. Alright, just based on this chapter. Alright? Thanks, lads. And any problems, let me know. So don't be afraid to message me if I haven't made that clear. And I'll be talking to you on Friday. Alright, thanks, boys.